Hi there, Dave Forrest here for F52TV. Welcome to episode 13. Unlucky for some, well, unlucky for a lot of you, because a lot of you didn't win last week's competition, but two of you did. The competition was to win radio rental, which I don't have here. Radio rental. So let's get on and find out who won. Only two winners, each will receive a DVD in the mail, and their names are appearing on screen now. Well done to you two. Send me a message through the YouTube system giving me your postal address, and a copy of Radio Rental is on its way to you. Well done. Now let's talk about this week's competition, which is to win a favourite DVD of mine and one of my best selling DVDs ever. This is Fresh Mint by Cameron Francis. This is not a card trick. Right? It is a number of things, like a utility device, basically a borrowed banknote, or a bill as they call them in America, borrowed bill, or it can be a card. There's some card related stuff on here, or a business card. It can be like a prediction that's in full view, and it basically centres around the fact that anything you can think of that's small and can fold up can be made to appear under the most impossible circumstances inside a small, clear tic-tac box. This is a really organic prop, a really wonderful idea, a beautiful illusion, and a really nice DVD with a number of different routines and stuff on there. As ever, all you have to do is visit the links that are on screen now. I should mention also the links now also appear at the start of each description of the episode. A number of you commented that it would be nice if the links were also in the description. Well, now they are. So I know that a lot of you just come here to try and win these DVDs. Now you don't even need to watch me rabble on. You can just click the link and go and leave a comment and you're entered, right? But that is this week's prize. Visit the link, like the video, leave a comment, and if you see a way to favouriting the video, and if you do favourite the video, do mention that you did that, because as far as I know, I have no way of knowing whether you did that or not. Yeah, and we'll give away 2 copies next week. Yeah, so that's it. Good luck. I want to show you one of my favourite effects of all time. I'm just going to show you. I'm not going to explain it, but I'll tell you more about it later. It is, of course, a card trick. That is what I do. Here is the idea. I'm going to take this deck of cards and balance it in between my fingers, just like this. What I'm going to do now is let go with the left hand. I will let go with the left hand, and despite that, the deck will stay perfectly balanced, teetering on my right fingertips. Are you ready? Yeah, I know, that's a terrible gag. But believe me, in the real world, people are hysterically laughing right now. Let's try it for real. Here we go. Deck of cards balanced solely on the right fingertips. Right at the extreme edges of the fingertips. Perfectly balanced. Impossibly balanced, you would have to say. Do you see this? Okay, now perhaps you think this is a solid block of cards, then you'll forget that earlier I showed you them all different. Spread them out. It's a regular deck of cards. We'll go over it one more time, at this time just on the tip of one finger. On the tip of one finger, perfectly balanced. Just like so. Spectators can look under the deck, they won't see anything. There's nothing attached to me. In fact, what I can do is I can take out the bottom card while it's balanced and wave it all around and show you that there's absolutely no connection whatsoever to anything. Slide that back under. And as I say, the deck is regular. I think you'd have to agree, that's a pretty impressive opening effect. This is called Balance, and I mentioned this DVD last week and I said I would come back and show you an effect from it. This is the effect that I was talking about. I'm currently putting together my new act for Scottish Week at the Magic Castle in California, and I've sort of got this idea that it may be something to do with balancing, or certainly my opening effect is going to be something to do with balancing. I recently bought an effect, a new effect that's out on the market, and it's about balancing, and it's very good. But I'm sort of looking at these effects because of this act I'm putting together. This, to my money, is still the best way to balance a deck of cards ever. It's so practical. This is a genuine normal deck of cards. I can go straight into other stuff. I'm not hooked up anywhere on my body. Let me just rave about it a little bit more. It's called Before I Forget. I think this DVD's £20 odd or something like that. It's without doubt the biggest bargain in Magic that I've ever bought, because that trick on its own is worth the entrance price, right? There's like 10 other things on here, and many of which, as I said last week, have been marketed on their own. The combined value of the stuff on this DVD is unbelievable. Just for the balancing effect, just for the opener, I would have paid the money. This is called Before I Forget. It's available on my website, but there are very few copies left. And I dare say that's because I mentioned it last week. People went and checked out. There's 2 demos up there. One of them is Balance, and those of you who did probably decided that it was worth buying a copy, and you're right, it definitely is. Check it out. It's called Before I Forget by Mark Elsdon. I can't say enough good things about it. You must have it in your library. Okay, so before we go on to this week's free effect, this week's free effect is called Limelight. And I think a couple of weeks ago in another episode, instead of me performing, I just took it straight off one of my DVDs. And that's the case again. This effect appeared originally on the Forrest project. Cameron Francis and me had a 2 DVD release called the Forrest Project. It's Cameron Francis who done Fresh Mint, so you know, this kind of ties in, I suppose. Great DVDs. They are now out of stock. As far as I know, you can't get them anywhere. So the fact that you're able to get this performance and explanation is something of a bonus, because I don't know where else you would get it. They may be repressed one day, I don't know. Before we get to the performance and explanation, lifted straight from the DVD, let me just talk about a couple of things that I got in stock this week that I think are worthy of your attention. Now, unlike other Magic shops, I obviously sell Magic my own stuff. Occasionally, I hand select items from other producers that I think are worth your attention. I'm just going to go over them quickly. You can check out demos on YouTube or on vol.1 and decide for yourself. This thing has just come out called Any Card to Any Spectator's Wallet. It is phenomenal. I mean, it is phenomenal. Think about what I just said. Any card, signed, freely selected, signed, appears in a spectator's wallet, right? But it's much more than that, as if that's not enough. The gimmick in here is so good and so clever, I don't know where to begin. Check out the demos. As I say, there's demos online. The other thing, one of my favourite effects, it's new to DVD. When I bought it, it was just a gimmick and a little sort of leaflet. Humbug by Angelo Carbone. I'm currently putting together a reel for my website, and this is definitely in the demo video, you know, and the reel, you know, for punters coming to the website who might want to book you, because it is visual, stunningly visual magic. The first time I seen it, I was just overjoyed with the crazy method, the ingenious gimmick. Humbug, check it out. You've probably all heard about this ink by Michael Chatelain. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. This guy's a genius. This effect is incredible. I mean, when I first saw it, I thought this will be so impractical, it'll just be pointless. It's not impractical, and it's not pointless. It's hyper practical, and it looks just as good as it does in the demo in real life. The gimmick in here is incredible. I mean, I had no idea what was going on. I thought it was chemicals or something weird. It's not. It's just really, really clever thinking. Check out the demo if you don't believe me. That's ink. Finally, if you're a playing card enthusiast, check out the new Erdnasium playing cards. They come in this beautiful replica box from early 1900s, and they are a tribute to S.W. Erdnase, who wrote Expert at the Card Table. I'm not going to bore you with the details. They're beautiful cards made by USPCC. They're B-backs with an ambigram on the back, which can be read both ways. Just a beautiful deck of cards. They're put out by Dan and Dave and the Conjuring Arts. That's Dan and Dave Buck. You know, they two guys who are brilliant, obviously. And lovely deck of cards. All that is currently available, all that stuff, on www.vol52.com. Magic marker. Again. Right. Show you this thing, right? Here's what I'm going to do, right? You reach in and take out any card you like. Good choice. Here's the pen here. What am I going to do? I'll not look. Right, I'll look this way. Take it and write your name right across the face of the card. Right? And I'll look. I've seen this trick before.
Yeah.
That was quick.
It's a very short
Here's the idea. No, only Nancy. Right?
Alright, okay.
Here's the idea. I'll put it, but you can be my person that checks that it's sort of going. I mean, I'm estimating, right? Somewhere sort of in the middle. Yep. Give or take. Good. But here's the thing, right? See, if I cut them like this, right, to the table, then you might say, well, you know where that card is, right? You might say that because I was the one that put it back in there, right? But, like, let's say I knew it was in 8th position right now, right? I just knew that. I mean, I don't know, but you might say I did. So here's what I'm going to do. What I want you to do is to cut the cards half off to the side. Go for it. Pick up the rest and put them on top. Good. Now here's the... Oh, jeez. Whoa. Hey! Name her life. So here's the thing, right? Because you cut them, you probably don't realise this, but because nobody really thinks about it. But now every single card in the deck has changed position. Every single one is now in a completely new position. And if I never touch them while you're perfect tidying them up and you start scrolling on the carpet. But apart from that, there's no way I can know exactly where your card is right now, right? Fair? But here's the thing, I don't need to know. And I'll tell you why. Because in all the millions of decks of cards that ever get made, most of them end up in like dirty wee casinos, or they end up all covered in beer at somebody's poker night. That's a big cards thing. But mine, when I buy a deck of cards, I use them for wonderment. Sort of. So because, you know, the deck feels like the chosen one, right? It could have ended up in a grubby casino or somebody's crappy covered in beer. But my cards appreciate the fact that I use them for magic. It's true. And so I don't need to know where your card is. The cards will tell me. Watch, I'll show you. Show you this. Here's what happens. One of the cards is going to step up to the plate right now. Tell me something about where your card is. Serious, watch. Watch. See? See one jumpsuit, just a touch. And that card is a 5 of clubs. And what that tells me is, what the deck's trying to tell me is that 5 cards away, 1, 2, 3, 4, just 5 cards away from where it jumped out, is your same card. Thank you. But the thing is, see, they can be a wee bit forward sometimes. But they're not backwards and coming forwards, because these 4 cards tell me it's time for a 4 ace trap. Here is the explanation for Limelight, which is a trick I think is quite good. I do enjoy it. It uses this old gimmick. Right, and to call this a gimmick is, is a bit strong, because all you need to do is tear a non-index corner from a card. All right, and what this card does, and this is very old. I don't really know who came up with the idea, but I read it in a Carl Fulves book, a little paperback, self-working card tricks. It's certainly a Carl Fulves little paperback. I don't know exactly which one. The point being that if you grip the deck at this corner, the cut card is in here somewhere, and riffle down the edge of the pack, this edge, the card sort of leaps out, really, apparently of its own accord.
Yeah, it looks great.
It's really, it's like, it really looks great.
Yeah.
So I sort of thought that you could probably do some pretty cool stuff with this, and we came up with a few things as we batted ideas back and forth. But this was one that I really liked. So here's what you need to do this. You take your gimmick and you place the regular card underneath, alright? And then you place an indifferent card on top. Then you take the 4 aces, put these 3 cards, so that's 4 aces, then a 5, then the gimmick, then an indifferent card, and these 7 cards go on top of the pack. Then you have any card freely selected, And while that card is being signed, you push over 7 cards. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and take a break under them, a tilt break. Alright? After the card's been signed, you place the signed card into the tilt break, so it goes 8 cards from the top. Alright? And at this point, you can false cut them to the table. Alright? And then you explain that maybe you think I know where it is. And I always say, like, let's say for example, I know that card's 8 cards from the top. And I like saying that because it is. Yeah. But they don't know that, and you say, but if I let you cut the cards, then every single card changes places. Right. And if I'm not touching the deck or anything, there's no way I can know the position after you've simply gave them one.
This is a very impressive part of the trick, and in fact, for a little while, I was kind of fooled, but I was like, "What? I can cut the pack." I mean, I didn't register. You know, it was really crazy.
Yeah. So all that happens is the spectator gives them a cut, like this. Yeah. And that's it. That's now centered your block, and you explain that because most cards end up getting used for some other mundane purpose like cards. Right. But mine, when I buy a deck of cards, they're like the chosen ones. They're to be used for magic. So because they're so pleased with me, they help me out in these situations when I don't know where the card is. Yeah. And one of them will step up to the plate. Yep. And tell me something about the location of your card. And now you just do the thing. And automatically one card's going to pop out.
This looks great when that happens.
And you show it, and it's a 5. You see, it's a 5 of clubs. Now, the 5 has stepped up to the plate here and tells me, I'm going to push that in and pull up on it. I'm going to lift up the gimmick on this side and immediately move forward with this card. Right?
It's just amazing. I mean, really, it's like there's no way that could not be the card that just popped out of the deck. You know, it just is.
And it makes the fact that it popped out more mystifying.
Because you can examine it.
This is clearly not a gimmicked card.
No,
right?
absolutely not, yeah.
And you say the 5 tells me that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards away. And these are the aces. This is where you put it. So it's definitely going to be your signed card. Right. Because the cards love to share the limelight. And so much so that these other 4 cards here are telling me that it's time for a 4-ace trick. Alright, and then you can obviously go into your favourite 4-ace trick. Another just nice feature is that the gimmick ends up on the bottom of the pack. That can be copped out and ditched, perhaps as you put the marker away. And there you go, a relatively commercial effect from an old gimmick. I will endeavour to find out if anybody knows who created this, because it is ingenious and I have come up with other things with it, but this was certainly one of the best of them, I felt. And it sort of has a bit of a Dunbury delusion finish to it,
Yes, absolutely.
So that's probably worth a mention. So there you go, that's called Limelight. Well, there you have it, that was Limelight there. I've obviously had a haircut and lost a bit of weight since we shot that DVD. I don't know what look I was going for at the time. I think I was going for sort of magic tramp or something like that. I don't quite remember. But it's a bit of a flashback looking at it now. I do hope you enjoyed the effect, though. It's pretty much self-working, and I think you'll agree. The thing to take away from it is that lovely idea that I read in the old Carl Fulves book with the pop-out card, a really nice thing, and I've come up with some other stuff over the years with it, and I'll hopefully share some of that with you one day. Now, just a final couple of words. I know I keep talking about this project that I'm doing with Lee Smith. It's really cool, and there will be something coming soon. I'm just snowed under. I was in Scotland this week visiting my parents and friends and family and stuff. So I've had a busy week, and I found out that some of my relatives and stuff watch Full 52 TV. So Gregor in particular, who which is amazing because usually he only puts the internet on to watch porn, but he watches Full 52 TV. So don't worry, Gregor, the episode's nearly done. You can go back to whatever it is you usually do online. The Lee Smith thing, is coming up. We've set a date for filming the DVD and everything. It's going to be brilliant. You're going to love it. As soon as I get some footage, I'll show it to you. You'll see it'll be worth the wait. My own project involving the cars is coming along. But again, a lot of irons and a lot of fires, a lot of stuff coming soon. Come back next week and hopefully I'll have more information on these upcoming projects. That's all for episode 13. I'm Dave Forrest for Full 52 TV. I'll see you next time.